Bills Lions
Mm.
could be a Super Bowl preview here on a Sunday afternoon, which anytime you get one of these, you absolutely love it. There are so many different matchups with two of the best, most complete teams in the NFL. So, Carmen, where are you going for your matchup that matters here with this game?
Yeah, like you said, it was actually pretty hard to just narrow this down. But I look towards, all right, where are the Lions hurting literally the most? That's along their defensive front. Although it does look like there was some stuff that came out today, Wednesday, about it looks like they're going to have Ali McNeil, Josh Pascal, some of those guys along the defensive line. DJ Reader still the biggest question mark of the four guys that are hurt. So they don't know if he's going to be able to go this weekend, but it sounds like they're going to get some more guys back or, be okay for this game against the Bills. And that matters an incredible amount because when you can get pressure on Josh Allen, things do not go well for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills offense. He has a 39% completion rate under pressure. He's got a 51.5 passing grade when under pressure. That ranks 43rd among qualified quarterbacks.
Hmm.
And yet, I just said all of that about how bad it goes for Josh Allen when he's pressured. Wouldn't you know, he's got the second highest big time throw percentage
Of
under
course he
pressure.
does.
11% of his throws are big time throws, despite the fact he's got one of the worst receiving curve with worst passing grades under pressure. He's fourth in turnover worthy plays under pressure with 9 of them this season. You hear the expression there are two wolves inside one? No, there's just one wolf in Josh Allen, and he does not care whether or not he's pressured, whether or not that things are going well for him. He's still going to chuck the ball down the field. And you can take advantage of that if you're the Detroit Lions, but you need to get that pressure first in order to bring out the most erratic version of Josh Allen, which I think is the best course of action when you're trying to go against the Buffalo Bills right now.
And I think that you put it beautifully right there, where this is the most erratic form of Josh Allen, but it's
Yeah.
you don't have many opportunities to really rattle this Buffalo Bills offense or just team at all whatsoever. And so basically the best you're going to get is this coin flip odds where you
Yes.
go, okay, he's either going to complete a big time throw on us or he's going to give us a turnover worthy play. That's
Yeah.
basically the best odds that you were going to get. So even
Yep.
though that's not really anything to like scoff at or say like, oh, it's a guarantee if you pressure Josh Allen, he's bad under pressure. Very clearly, you didn't say that he was bad under pressure. You just say that there's a little bit more of a coin flip than necessarily sitting back and letting the Bills offense come to you under their terms. So
Yeah.
that is a very, very interesting point there. Obviously, this game is in Detroit. If this one was in Buffalo, I think maybe there's a little bit of an advantage there. I think home field matters a lot in
Yeah.
this one. I'm going to flip to the other side of things for my matchup that matters. I'm going to talk about the Bills pass rush versus the Lions offensive line. Lions, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and they're going up against a Bills pass rush that, I'm going to be honest, not great over the last specifically like 3 or 4 weeks. Over the last 3 games, the Buffalo Bills just have a 60.0 team pass rushing grade, only 2 sacks, and just a 33% pass rush win percentage as a team. When people are thinking like, oh, well, like you talk about like Myles Garrett or Nick Bosa, and they have, 25% pass rush win percentage. That's unbelievable. So 33 must be fantastic. No, as a team, you really want to shoot for a number that's much higher. High 40s, low 50s, something like that. Like that's a really good pass rush for an NFL team. And so the fact that they're in the low 30s, it just has not been a great pass rush. Greg Rousseau was really on fire through the first half of the season. I still think he's a good football player, but Von Miller's come along 2 out of the last 4 games. He's, graded pretty well, had some pretty high pass rush win percentages, but how much can you really lean on Von Miller being that guy still? So if the Bills can't get pass rush the way that they haven't been able to generate pass rush over the last couple of weeks, I think that's cause for concern for them, not just in this game against the Lions, but also just moving forward in general as they march towards the playoffs and potentially getting the number 1 overall seed. So it's going to be a tough matchup because we know if you keep Jared Goff clean, I mean, he can really punish you. He can really be an assassin in this offense. And so a lack of pressure, I think pressure on both sides is going to be worth monitoring. What
Mm-hmm.
happens when the Lions pressure Josh Allen and what's the result? And if the Bills can even pressure Jared Goff at all, and if they can't, I think that he's just going to be able to move the ball too well on them. On the other side of things, I think we're in for a big Brian Branch game. Brian Branch has not had a overall grade in a single game above 60 since week 10. So it's been a handful of weeks here where he has struggled to generate a good PFF passing grade. Now, the Lions ask him to do a lot. He's a slot defender. He's a safety. He's an intimidator. He's an enforcer. He's a lot of things for them. But when you have a player like Josh Allen, who has the ability to be such a fantastic creator with his arm and with his legs, you have to have some sort of chess piece to counter it. I think Brian Branch is good enough to be that. I think he's good enough to be the downhill player when Josh Allen decides to take off and run, to come down and tackle him and limit those yards when he is scrambling. I think he is a great chess piece of a player to also give the defense the freedom to, when Josh Allen breaks the pocket, when he is in a scramble drill, where he is looking over the middle, cross body, cross the field, you allow Brian Branch to really keep his eyes on Josh Allen to make plays on the football and against receivers where other DBs might not have the ability or the vision or the IQ to be able to do it. Brian Branch is just such a damn good football player that who he is as a chess piece against Josh Allen, to me, is going to mean a lot in this game. And so with him kind of struggling over the last couple of weeks, not having a big impact game, let's see it from Brian Branch in this one. I think he's due.
Yeah. And I mean, he's had some issues as far as injuries go and all that kind of stuff. He gets banged up quite a bit or even ejected from games occasionally when it's against the Green Bay Packers. But he has kind of, I've noticed that he's just kind of stalled out a little bit over the last few weeks. I don't expect that to continue, though, because Aaron Glenn does put a ton on him. I do think that the rest of the injuries to the defense have then kind of the domino effect of what that does, and the more responsibility that puts on guys like Brian Branch, or on the safeties in particular between him and Kirby Joseph. There are ways that like Aaron Glenn covers up some of the deficiencies or the holes due to injury in this defense, and it starts and ends with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph in that safety spot, because that is the best part of their defense right now. But I'm going to go to the other defense too for my plus factor, and it's the Bills linebackers. You have Matt Milano back now, and they are going to be stressed against this offense that can beat you in so many different ways, just out of the offensive backfield too sometimes. I mean, you have Sonic and Knuckles, as they are so affectionately called in Detroit, in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And what's so incredible about this tandem of running backs is just how much they complement each other. You've got David Montgomery, who's an absolute bowling ball between the tackles. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who is like the finesse guy. He's got incredible vision. You get the ball to him in space and watch him just go 20, 30 yards down the field. And a lot of times that ends up falling as the responsibility of these linebackers. And Jahmyr Gibbs is extraordinarily fast, and he's really hard to keep up with. If you want to limit this Detroit offense, you're going to need to try to take some aspects away from it. And that's really, really hard to do when you have two different guys that are sometimes on the field at the same time, but they kind of switch off, but they also don't behave like you expect them to behave at all times. That opens things up for some more stuff underneath with Sam Laporta, for things down the field to Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jameson Williams, who has been like their gadget, kind of stretch the field type of guy. You're getting stuff out of Tim Patrick, who, I think got a game ball this last game, or maybe it was 2 games ago. Anyway, you have so many different ways.
2 touchdowns, yeah.
Yes. So you get you just have so many ways that the Detroit Lions offense can beat you, plus the creativity of Ben Johnson to really exploit your weaknesses, or just be a petty king in the sense that he likes to take what you do well on offense and then prove that he can do it better, or his offense can do it better. He does it all the time. He just did it against Green Bay, where they were trotting out more 2 tight end sets than they ever have all season, which is something Matt LaFleur really loves to do. I keep saying, like, Ben Johnson keeps doing this week in and week out, where he is isolating something that you do well and then saying, I can do it better. But anyway, that falls a lot on the linebackers to really keep things going well, orchestrate, what you're supposed to be doing, make sure that your guys are really gap sound. It's just as much what they bring to the table, like guys like Matt Milano, from a physical standpoint, as it is what they bring from a mental standpoint. Matt Milano is one of the best as far as guys that can diagnose things, that can understand what these offenses are trying to do, how to get his guys in position, all that kind of stuff. He's a wonderful leader on that Buffalo Bills defense. He has to step up, and he has to be that guy against this offense.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.